Hello, everyone. Glad to see you back here at Silver Tears Tarot. And of course, a warm welcome to anyone who is joining us for the first time. So, happy almost February. February starts tomorrow. And one thing we can say is this year did not start off slowly. We have January behind us already. Well, almost. And it's kind of amazing to think about how fast it went by, how much has happened. So, we're going to take a general first look at February. So, I'm sure that we'll refresh halfway through, but let's see how things start out. So, as you guys know, it's a general reading for all signs. This one's going to be timeless, even though it is being done at a specific time. The energy of it should reach you when you feel drawn to it. And so, it won't resonate with everybody, but if it does resonate with you, please do like and share and subscribe so we can stick together. So we're going to go ahead and take a look here. And like I said, this is kind of a general picture. We're going to start out with the energetic backdrop for the month. And so this is energy that is surrounding you for the month of February. And we've got 5 of shells that has come out in reverse. So the 5 of shells, shells are water energy. It's like the 5 of cups coming out in reverse. What is happening here is having that. It's kind of like a well-rounded view of things that includes both the positive and what you would consider the negative. We'll understand a little bit more about that when we go to clarify, but that's what sticks out. What really stands out here is that maybe you had a view before that was a little bit more limiting and just kind of focused potentially on those negative pieces. And this is just that more well rounded view. So we'll see when we clarify with the Chrysalis deck. This is the Spirit Song Tarot. We'll see what happens there. Let's see what kind of energy you're moving toward. So remember, this is the energy that you're moving toward during the month of February. If you don't like the answer here, you have some options around it with adding your free will to the situation and seeing what comes out. So this is just a little bit of an idea of what you might think to look for, what you might think to watch for as you're working through it. And we have the 6 of Feathers, feathers being that air energy. 6 of Feathers is a growing sense of clarity. So it's moving from a place, it again talks about kind of that motion. So it's moving from a place of having kind of a tumultuous emotional situation to a place where you feel a little bit calmer about things. And it's easier to have that broader or more inclusive perspective because that's really how this feels. It feels like instead of focusing on any in one piece of the picture, it's kind of having taken a step back and having a little bit more of that perspective. And this feels like the ability to do so. This is that reflection. This is the energy that you're moving toward is even more of a reflective sort of energy than what you're already probably in across this month. So let's see what sticks out the most because this seems like a problem solving sort of energy. Oh, it's a single card. All right, King of Crystals, Earth energy. This is like the King of Pentacles. And so if I have to pick a favorite king, King of Pentacles is probably in my number one, number two position. And this is the king that kind of brings the full package as far as resources, support, emotional support. There's just a lot of good positivity in here. And this is not somebody coming to you, this is within you. So, this is a fabulous place for this sort of energy because basically it has you overcoming some, and maybe this doesn't happen all at once, but some of you are experiencing a little bit of that imposter syndrome, a little bit of that feeling that you don't deserve to be here, haven't quite figured out what you're supposed to do in this situation. And this is kind of coming out of that a little bit. And it's that sense of feeling a little bit more deserving of the situation. So look forward to that because that is really something to look forward to. That's pretty fantastic. Okay, so let's see what comes out for you as far as another critical energy that is acting upon you at this time. So, this is one of my favorite questions. I haven't asked it much lately, but it's one of those things where we're just letting in any sort of message that wants to come in as far as this is important. This is important to your situation. It's critical to you, but it could be anything. Could be something that you're really happy about, could be something that you're not happy about, but it's a critical energy that's impacting you at this time. Let's get a feel for what that would be. Oh, and we have the 10 of feathers. Okay, so this is about it's about a recognition of past pain, okay? But it's about recognizing that past pain so that you can more clearly target your healing. It's a clarity that comes with this. So it doesn't necessarily mean that the pain is gone, but it does mean that you're in more of a position to have that more well rounded perspective about it. You're in more of a position to actually be able to reflect on it, and you feel like you're deserving of a solution and a good outcome. You're going to have, throughout life, there are going to be those situations that hurt you or make you feel uncomfortable or that you allow yourself to be hurt by, I guess I should say. But the thing is that have some patience with yourself. Don't be judgmental about the fact that you fall into these pits. Your growth is about coming out of that, and so it truly is about how you land and how you then recover. Because you're going to experience situations that are setbacks, that are emotional triggers, things like that. Here, though, I can see that you're recognizing it, but you're also in a good position to see it in a well-rounded way. And this is just a really healthy approach. So if you've got something that you've been wanting to solve, this is the right kind of energy to solve it. That problem solving energy just keeps coming out here. So let's see, hidden energy wise, what you can't see. Wow, from where you're standing. All right. I guess I always ask that question there, but still, um, it came out and it wants to be part of the reading. It was like this is the one you want. Sometimes I shuffle for a long time. Other times I don't have that opportunity. So we have the three of acorns. It's fire energy. Okay. It's passionate energy. I'm not really surprised with how it decided to make its entrance, I guess, now that I think about it. But this is energy of setting something in motion, but actually having kind of the foresight and the understanding to set something in motion. It isn't just the act of doing it. So, definitely the act of doing it, but also there's something about the value of having that broader view. And you have that broader view here in just your energetic backdrop throughout the month. And it's even getting better as you move throughout the month as far as your clarity increasing and your ability to recognize and handle these situations that need your confident response. So, you don't probably realize quite how ready you are for this. And a lot of you, I feel like I can feel you saying, "Oh, yeah, yeah, I feel pretty ready for this." You're more ready than you realize because of some of the healing that you've done recently, some of that shift from focusing on what you would perceive as the negative to that more well-rounded view. That really plays out across February, and that is an amazing sort of feeling that wants to come out there. Let's take a look before we jump in to start doing clarifications. Let's take a look at what can you be doing now? It's that preparation question, right? We've got this energy coming your direction of greater clarity. We were just talking about here, if you have a special problem that you'd like to solve, this is great energy for that. But what can you be doing to even better prepare for that? And maybe it's about preparing to use that energy to the best of your ability. We've got the three of crystals. So look for those situations in life where collaboration isn't easy, where things don't necessarily want to come together quickly and easily for you. Those are the situations that you're going to want to target. So, once upon a time, and I don't usually talk about this, but here we are. Once upon a time in my life, I was a married woman and I was a smoker, okay? And when my marriage fell apart, I decided that since everything was already changing anyway, that I would go ahead and use that as an opportunity to stop smoking. it was a good decision because ultimately what happened is it's like all the pieces had gone up in the air anyway, and as they settled, you have some opportunities, and that's kind of part of what you see here to target what you want to work on. And you can't always influence how those pieces fall, but you can at least say, I want to remove something from my life that I've been thinking about removing for a while, or so, like smoking in my case. Little things like that. And it's so nice afterwards to have made the change during a tumultuous time because you weren't comfortable anyway. That's kind of the way that I looked at it. And so, as you're moving into a place that honestly, this does feel a little bit more comfortable as you start to move into a place that is easier to reflect. It's like that calmer water. Sometimes you'll see the Six of Feathers or the Six of Swords depicted as a person on a boat moving from tumultuous waters into calmer waters. And that is the energy of what's happening here. So, to be best prepared for this, figure out what you want to solve and what you want to do with that energy. So let's go ahead and start clarifying. We've got the Chrysalis deck here to clarify with. And again, I was reading with the Spirit Song Tarot. We're going to start with this Five of Shells here. So remember, this was in your current, it's like your current energy, but it's the energetic backdrop. So it's more than just current. It goes into the month, and it's kind of what's in the background, almost like the energy that you're swimming in. It's the energy of what's happening around you. And so it's what we've got is your broader perspective. You are being more inclusive in your perspective. The divine child has come out, the Hierophant. You may come in contact with someone or run across someone who provides really good spiritual insights. I'm fond of saying, listen when you're out and about. It could be that 2-year-old sitting next to you at the public place in some, somebody else's family or whatever, and they just pop out with this amazing wisdom. And for sure, you could get that, but I feel like this is probably a little bit more intentional. Anyway, be looking for it because you may run across somebody who has some really valuable insights. You're encouraged to hang on to them, not in a needy way, but just hang on to those insights and avail yourself of those insights when you can. So if you go to church and you have someone who is new in your clergy who has arrived that has some really incredible insights, get an audience with them once or twice. Make sure you get to know them a little bit. If you find, I don't know, a show that really works for you, watch it. Make sure you watch all the episodes, things like that. It's just, you're going to run across something that's going to help you out, and it's going to help you to perpetuate this. So this does not come from this energy of the well-roundedness does not come from this Hierophant energy, okay? But it does perpetuate, or it is perpetuated by this energy. So whoever it is that you run across, stay with them because you're going to do well with that, and it'll help to perpetuate that great energy. You've got Eight of Mirrors energy, so that's water energy in this deck. And the Eight of Mirrors is about, you see this guy is on a journey. He's walking down a path. There's an element of not necessarily searching so much. I mean, it can be a search, but there is more an element of a quest, I guess I want to say, in the Eight of Mirrors and in that feeling overall. So, just something to think about. This is in your current energy. You have the energy of someone who is ready to embark upon something new, and watch for this person who wants to provide you some information, because you are at a peak moment for you to be receiving such information, and it's just going to do you so much good. So that's in your energetic backdrop for the month. It's your current energy leading through the month. Of course, like I said, we'll refresh at the mid-month mark, but this is fabulous. This is the only thing that I may like better than that is this, where you're headed. That feeling of moving from, like I said, the tumultuous waters into the calmer waters, being able to reflect. Like when you look over the side of the boat in choppy waters, you can't see a reflection. You're not able to really make heads or tails of it. In fact, a lot of times you're not even inclined to look over the side. So when you are in a calmer situation, you look over, you're able to see your own reflection, and that's kind of the example. That's not really the example that I want to use so much as the simile or the metaphor, depending on how I use it. But it's all about things getting calmer. It's all about now having an opportunity to think back, in the reading that we did a couple days ago, we had this sense of being able to kind of I guess think that was a soulmate reading, but it still resonates here. There was this sense of being able to kind of think back and make sense of things. You're going to get that same thing here. And it's very global. It's not just a soulmate thing. If you're part of the soulmate piece, if those readings are resonating for you, it's going to impact you in that place also. And some of that energy may also be coming from this, but it is, above and beyond that. This is a general thing, that a general way the energy is feeling as it comes to that you're coming toward. I guess I should say you're coming toward it rather than it's coming toward you, because it's you that's doing the movement, and it's this is what you're attracting. So that six of feathers. Let's see. I just want to clarify and understand it a little bit more deeply. We've got the four of stones. So that's earth energy, and it is so it's like a feeling of letting go. Okay, there's something that you're going to be able to let go, another common theme that we've seen here recently. But you're going to be able to let go of something because of this tumultuous water giving way to the calmer water. You're going to get into a place where you couldn't maybe have dreamed of letting go. And it's like a concept, not of a thing, it's letting go of this concept, but now you're having kind of this new perspective developing. Let's see what else wants to come out for that. So we have something that came out. The 10 of spirals. All right, so watch for the heavy load. It may be that you don't even realize that you're carrying a load of this nature, and it is something that is influencing you toward burnout. Um, it's feeling pretty overwhelming, but it also feels like you're well equipped to handle it. Okay, so just something to realize, you're well equipped to handle this. You've been handling it. May even be something that you don't quite realize how well you've been handling it. It's part of the reason that you're going to be so well equipped to handle what's coming your direction, and more so than you may even realize. You're ready for this. And as you move into that calmer energy, it just everything starts to kind of fall into place. But be aware that with this load that you're carrying, you stand to feel a lot more relief than you might anticipate. So let's look into this King of Crystals here. That was your sense of being deserving. It was the thing that sticks out the most. We have okay, so this is Nine of Scrolls, air energy. It's like a Nine of Swords, and it is basically your anxiety falling away. Your anxiety is essentially falling away in this energy, that sticks out the most as your. It reminds me of like that imposter syndrome is just burning off. Like it's getting in the sun and it's burning off. And with it goes your anxiety. Let's see what else. What a wonderful, magical, sort of exciting experience. May not be a super balanced experience with that Two of Stones in the reverse. That is a gap not being crossed. It is stability not being restored. It's something that's off kilter that is remaining off kilter. I don't know how much this truly matters for you, because with this energy, you're okay with a couple things being off kilter in general, and I see you feeling fairly confident about yourself, about your situation, about how you are handling the situation. But just know, yeah, there's that load that you're carrying. There are some imperfections. There are some situations that make things challenging, but I feel like you already knew that. This is going to be, despite that, you're still going to be riding high and feeling great. So let's look at this 10 of feathers, and this is about that recognition so that you can really weed out um, what has to happen as you're getting clarity. This is that feeling of getting clarity. As you're getting clarity looking over the side of the boat, you're being able to reflect. You're being able to understand maybe a little bit better what it is that's required of you, what it is that you need to be able to heal from and to do. So we've got the Hermit, the storyteller card, is in reverse here. And so this is when we have the Hermit card like this is it's it's a matter of not having gotten all of that wisdom that you're seeking. So the hermit often involves you going off into, we sometimes say hermit mode, going off into your thinking cave, going and doing some thinking. You develop stories for yourself. And essentially, you've got a story that's failed to form here. And that's part of what alerts you to the fact that there is more to this. There is healing that needs to take place. There's a recovery, a transformation that needs to happen. You're able to reflect on what that is here and to figure out how heavy of a load it is that you're actually carrying. But what's really fabulous about this is the energy that you're bringing into it. You're ready to go on a quest. You're ready to listen to um, this isn't your intuition and divine guidance. This is spiritual guidance coming from a different source, and you are in a position where you're kind of open and ready to listen to it. So that's really just beneficial for you as you go into this place of having additional clarity, needing additional clarity, as you're working through things. So we've got the Mime and the Page of Spirals. I'm actually gonna, it feels like it doesn't matter where I put these. I can put them, sometimes I gotta have them in a certain order, and other times it's not as picky about it. And just, you know what? I'll tell you which order to read it. So the thing that wants to come out the most here is actually the Page of Spirals here. And so, or it wants to come out first. This one's also going to be significant. So the Page of Spirals is a passionate energy, but like we saw in a couple of previous readings, it's not necessarily a well thought out energy. So this is almost like a warning. There are ways that you're going to be able to tell. This is advice about how to tell when you run across something where you need some of that healing. We had been looking at, in previous readings, talking about peeling the onion, about how do you identify that next layer. That Ten of Feathers energy is going to help you identify the next layer. Where is the pain and what order do I need to do this in? So you've got some, the storytelling, that some story is failing to coalesce properly for you and you've noticed it. That is how you are going to identify this. You're also going to be able to identify it as when you feel the urge to make an ill-informed, rash decision. Watch for that. This is maybe something you don't do a lot of. So when you feel like that's an urge, look for the Ten of Feathers. Look for where's the pain? What is it that is maybe causing me to behave this way or to do this? Also, watch for something that you want to keep a secret. So, the Watcher, is the Queen of Mirrors, and it's Queen of Cups, but it's an interesting Queen of Cups, a little bit different from any of the other ones that I've really experienced. Because, yes, it's about love, but it's also very much kept quiet. Everything about this, is kept very quiet, even in the reverse. The pain that she feels when it goes into, when that healthy love sort of twists into more of a codependency, she still keeps it quiet. Look for something in yourself that goes from being, it's a generally a healthy thing, but then you see it twisted into, it could be codependency. It's otherwise, I almost feel that devil energy that wants to come in there. But look for that. These are how you're going to identify those next layers of the onion for you to work on. And we know there's plenty that you're still working on now, and there's no rush. However, this is the energy of problem solving and getting in there and figuring out, all right, so what is that next problem I'm even going to solve? And it's about looking for what doesn't work out, and then this is just kind of more on that. So let's look at this Three of Acorns. The Three of Acorns was in the position of hidden energy. It's what we don't know that's coming, or what we don't know that's around us. And this is about you being more prepared than you might realize to manage this situation or to handle this situation. So let's see what we've got here. I think that was more than one card. If just one falls down there, I'll grab it. Most of the time, that's how I feel like I should do it. Oh, we have one fall on the floor. And we want it. So it's the Three of Stones. We've got a lot of that sort of energy. This Three of Crystals and this Three of Stones are the same. Only this one denotes cooperation, where this Three of Crystals is about kind of a lack of cooperation, lack of collaboration. This Three of Acorns is suggesting that things are going to fall into place for you this month and just in general better than you might expect, because you have done some healing, you have made some progress that you kind of, and we've seen this in recent readings too, maybe you haven't had the opportunity to really test it out. So you're going to have the opportunity and you're going to say, ooh, I'm pretty happy with this. But also keep in mind that there are maybe going to be some challenges. So this Three of Mirrors is water energy. It's about emotions. You may find yourself in a situation where you are quite capable of handling it. Things fall into place for you, but you kind of just don't feel like it. And you got to honor that. But there are also going to be situations where you will have to kind of buck up and take care of business. So keep that in mind. There will be situations about this where you know you're qualified, you know you're prepared to handle something, but for whatever reason, like it's like one of those days where you kind of can't make yourself get out of bed. There may be a little bit of that element to it. So just kind of be aware that this may happen. These things may go hand in hand. You may be so passionate about making adjustments and fixing something, and then all of a sudden the next day find that you're not feeling so strongly about it. So just hang in there. That's the advice that wants to come along with that. Also, though, as you're looking for that next layer of the onion to peel, as you're moving toward this energy of clarity and this ability to understand a little bit more what your situation is really going to be, one of the ways that you'll be able to identify that is to start thinking now, or to start identifying situations where you would want to focus, places where you would want to get a little bit of that sort of work done. Whew. All right, we're going to take this, and then I'm going to clean up all the rest of my cards here that I kind of just sprayed all over the place. Okay, there we go. That's much better. Um, so we've got the King of Scrolls, which has come in the reverse. The Poet card. The King of Scrolls in the reverse is very much about the in the reverse. This is someone who does not back up and take a look at the big picture. We already see over here that you have a tendency that you're inclined to have that more well-rounded view, to take a look at the big picture. So if you feel that you've got something where you are disinclined to back up and take a look at the big picture, like the feeling, okay, if you saw the thank you video from a couple of days ago, um, there was this feeling like this person was having such a great time that they were in denial. They didn't want to back up and look at the big picture. That is what I'm looking for. So this was in the extended video, but it was a thank you video. So when I do those, I do the YouTube video, and then I clear the table and I do the extended right there in front of you. It's to say thank you, to give you something for no charge, and also because some people have never seen an extended video, and so it just kind of lets them know here's what we even do there. So I think it was in the extended though where we saw this energy come out, and it was very much in denial. I'm not allowing myself to look at that because I don't want to mess up this wonderful thing I have. If you find that in yourself, that's a sign that you're going to want to apply this clarity to it. So it's like taking all your hiding places away. Um, but it also is fixing things for you and helping you to understand a little bit better where your strengths are, I guess, and where you're like which we've got these idioms, I'm inclined to use, which side your bread is buttered on, and where, like, where the good is. So the Nine of Mirrors comes out here, because it's all about understanding what it is that makes you happy. You're going to be refining constantly this idea of what it is that makes you happy. You have maybe seen this in previous readings if you've been watching them also. People around you are having a hard time and they're having to redefine what is making them happy, but it's also something that you are being asked to go back and evaluate. So something to think about there. Um, it's interesting. This energy that you're going into is incredibly problem-solving energy, but it's like, here's how you even identify over here and in here in particular. Gives you like step-by-step instructions about how to identify the problems that you should be looking into and approaching with this new energy that's coming. So I'm not going to do an extended on this reading, but I do really appreciate some of what's come out here. If this has resonated with you, I would just say please hit like. Also subscribe so we can stick together. I'd love to continue reading for you. Tomorrow, I expect to do a pick a pile for this reading, only the soulmate version. So stay tuned for that. Otherwise, if you haven't seen the thank you reading that I did a couple days ago with regard to soulmates, there were a lot of interesting messages there. And that's going to kind of be our jumping off point as we do tomorrow's reading. So, best wishes to you as you go into the month of February. It looks like it's going to be a great month. And I look forward to seeing you in some future readings.